Hello, and welcome to another edition of SVG's New Sponsor Showcase. It's where we introduce some of the most innovative technology vendors in the industry as they join the SVG family. I'm Dan Daly, SVG's audio editor, and I'm excited today to introduce one of our newest sponsors, 7Point Audio. I'm joined here by Jeff Ball, president and co-founder of 7Point Audio. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Dan, how are you today?
Very good, very good. Hopefully you're the same. I want to jump right in on this because one of the focuses for this year, certainly for what I'm writing for SVG, is the growing convergence of entertainment and sports. And the game DJ has been part of that mix for some time. But I wanted to know how that role is changing and what the tools they are that they're using. How does 7 Point Audio impact that dynamic?
Absolutely. As we kind of go through and enter more of a digital world, we see how people are interacting with their music and their selections are happening in new and exciting ways. We're leaving behind the physical mediums, we're heading into the digital mediums. And so that's giving breath to new artists that can really thrive in that marketplace. So what that does for our in-game entertainment is that allows us to be able to pull from new artists and kind of new genres that kind of just break out and can engage and energize the fans that are in those stadiums, in those live events, and get the fan interaction going a little bit more. 7 Point Audio is kind of pushing that way to make sure that we're always creating new solutions and new ways to create those interactions by providing the DJs the tools they need to create those instantaneous moments of just reaction to keep the fans engaged while the gameplay is going.
Gotcha. What are some of those tools? I mean, and how might they differ from what a DJ might typically be using at a typical DJ gig?
Right. So some of the tools that we're trying to provide them are better tools to organize their repertoire that they might have, their essentially their own personal library of music. How can we allow them to be able to find and source the piece of music they need at that moment's notice? Some of it is kind of pre-programmed. We know that when there's a touchdown or there's a third down or certain things, we've got certain collections of music that we want to play, and we've provided new tools for them to have the DM DJs to have access to that at all times. But we also are providing them new tools to be able to sort and categorize that music for quick response.
How's the role of the game DJ changing, though? I mean, we see more and more music and live performances coming into sports events, into football, into baseball, basketball, certainly. How's that role changing? How's it evolving?
Right now, the probably the biggest thing is kind of redrawing the community back together, right? So some of the innovation that's happened in that space has been a bit stagnant for some years, and so we're trying to bring the community back together and trade ideas, trade how the DJs are playing their music, what music selections are they making, and also they have to stay plugged in to current times. So as artists are out there in the field and they're making their public statements, sometimes that doesn't align with what the team or the organizations want to represent, and so the DJs have to stay in tune with that to make sure that they're not playing that particular artist's music at any certain time, and again communicating with other DJs on how are you handling this new situation.
Right, right, right. There's a lot of cross genre going on right now in sports. I mean, you'd have the NBA would be going for hip hop and other low frequency type music genres, whereas baseball would tend to be a little pastoral, or let's say maybe even some rock. Football's always been rock. What are you seeing out there in terms of that? What's the feedback from your customers on that?
uh, as kind of generationally things progress, we're seeing more of a dance and R&B kind of theme taking hold across the land, while rock continues to be a mainstay for just its backbeat and things that it brings to the fan experience. We are seeing more of kind of a lean towards electronic music and things of that nature because that's just what the newer generations are listening to.
Gotcha, gotcha. I understand that you're pushing deeper into, or plan to push deeper into the high school athletic market. Tell us about that. What's that market like, and what's 7 Audio's plans for that?
Yeah, so the high school market is a place where we look to really be influential. That's a place where we see a lot of moms and dads are holding up their iPhones and playing things off of Spotify or Apple music, or things of that nature, they're not as responsive as they need to be in interaction. They're not able to interact as much with the fans as they need to. So we're trying to provide them the same tools that the pros have and the colleges and minor leagues have always enjoyed. The difference being we're trying to provide that in more of a model that they can afford very easily and simply on a high school budget, but also giving them tools they've never had access to. Here within the first quarter of 2023, we'll be launching a new feature whereby we are doing music distribution and providing the top of the charts for all the DJs out there that are using 7 Point Audio inside the app, so that DJs can download those new hits right into the app, and it's always available to them. And those selections of music that are being made from the top of the charts, from rock, country, dance, R&B, hip hop, and the rest. But then the content that's coming down is also already filtered. There's no explicit lyrics, no explicit content, so they know what they're getting is always clean and ready to go out of a broadcast. That's going to simplify the high school marketplace and how they can present their music at any given game. And we hope that that'll be something that's very useful to that side.
And music clearances are already taken care of with that?
Everything's already taken care of that. So whenever they start up 7 Point Audio, they can just start pulling in the music, and all the licensing has already been taken care of.
Jeff, you've given us a great overview, not only of 7 Point Audio, but also of the market that it's serving. Anything else that you'd like to add while we close up?
No, I think the only thing I would add is that we're going to continue to make strides in our marketplace and listening to the feedback that's out there and making sure that we're doing what everyone else is needing, because we see ourselves as DJs that have done this for many years, and we're just trying to provide to the marketplace that's out there exactly what they've been wanting for so many years.
Great. Jeff Ball, president and co-founder of 7 Point Audio. Thanks very much for joining SVG and for being with us here today.
Thanks so much, Dan.